Well, some success here. Just had it running, and I've actually managed to cure the problem with the colour. Basically, this board down here, I actually took it out. Involves actually putting the thing on its front, and you kind of loosen the board, and then you got to unhook all the wires from the clips and the little wee cable runners, and I managed to pull the board out. And what I did is I sprayed deoxin on every single one of those pots, marked the reference spot, and just gave them all a couple of turns back and forth to just every single pot, because when you're considering all the rain would have gone straight down there. Basically, you know, the set was left sitting upright, the rain would have gone straight down into there, and there was a shitload of dust and things down there. So but yeah, it's not exactly the easiest to work on. I'd sort of wondering how you'd actually work on the set with that board out, because you'd need to have something to prop it up, because otherwise the set just sort of falls on its side. So I don't quite know. I'm sure there was obviously a way around to do it. You can't even really turn the board over, because it just all the wires get caught up in things. I'll spin it around before I plug it in, but yeah, it's got plenty of colour now. It's actually got quite a. I must admit, the picture on it's actually quite grouse. Could happily actually sit and watch this actually quite easily. Just turn that off, and waiting for the little lurid bloody camera to turn off again. But hang on, I might just. Oh, it'll be right enough to show. So yeah, you're sort of got to unhook all these wires that sit in those clips. Hang on, let me just move that around. But yeah, all the wires that yeah, so pretty much all these wires sat in those white clips, and that cable tie, you loosen two screw it, and you're able to pull the board out and actually sort of pull it back. Take that transistor off, that transistor on its heatsink off there to pull it back. To get in there. So yeah, so I was able to pull the board back enough to actually spray all those pots. So yeah, one thing that does concern me about these old colour sets, this actually does not appear to have an IC anywhere down there. It all looks to be fully discrete. The transistors these things use, 2SE945s and some other numbers which I recognise in this set, the transistors in this thing, are used by the vintage 70s amplifiers. And of course those transistors, they go noisy. You know, so it wouldn't surprise me if any sort of weird problems that these things that crop up with something like this could be due to those transistors. So there we are, 2SE1364s. I find those a lot in Sansui's use those in their preamplifier sections, in their phono stages. It's got the black shit on the legs. These are quite prone for going noisy, and there's one there as a prime example. Yeah, actually some of these I'm actually recognising from some of the amps I service. So hey, if it affects amplifier sections if it affects amplifiers, it must obviously affect TVs too to some degree. But yeah, you know, again, I suppose you just go through and replace them all, and hopefully it fixes it. But whether the actual circuitry in the TVs are a bit more tolerant to noise, I don't know. But I mean, the transistors must go bad at some point. Again, some of you guys might be able to confirm or deny. I could be talking a whole lot of crap too, but just in my experience with amps and the noisy transistors, and this thing's from the same era, and it's got the same transistors in it. Yeah, alright, well I guess with further ado, we'll turn it around. Wires are getting ripped off on the bottom, it's my only worry. I might just put this down for a second, because I don't want those wires getting sort of ripped off on the carpet. Let me just double check to make sure that nothing's come away. We're all good. Okay, right. It's always much easier with two hands. It's a good view, isn't it? An RS-232 port and a busted bloody Sony cabinet with all the veneer bloody peeling off. Right. Okay. Let me turn it on. YouTube copy, YouTube copyright breach. And voila, we now have colour. Glorious colour in all of glory. Yes, I'm getting rather tired, so I'm tending to ramble a bit now, but yeah, well, there you go. Look at that, heaps of colour now, more than you can poke a stick at. Although I notice when I turn it right up, it actually starts flickering. You probably can't see it in the camera, especially if I increase the, like I noticed the red, the magenta, the pink, the pink, the red, and the blue are actually flickering slightly. So I don't quite know what with that, but yeah, I've got plenty of colour. It actually looks good. I adjusted the picture slightly too. It was a bit off to one side, so I moved the horizontal centering and adjusted the height a wee bit. But hey, that's not a bad result really for a night. Well, considering the set was pretty much operational from the word go. I mean, I'm not that surprised, but I would have thought that who would have thought that cleaning all the controls actually brought the colour back to what it was. So yeah, next question is, what do I do with it? Well, I suppose I keep it. Yeah, I mean, unless a better set comes along, well, you know. In fact, I'm sort of thinking, actually, in fact, if I had room in the workshop, I'd probably actually have a headroom in the workshop. I'd probably actually use it for something, or watch TV on or something. But still got the old black and white down there with the old antenna. It was still in daily use until analog got switched off, and I haven't bothered to do anything about it. So, but yeah, I haven't really got any real space to set this up. I mean, I've got my modern louver bloomin' piece of crap up there, which I use when I'm repairing home theatre amplifiers, and you know, this hasn't got AV in, so mind you, I suppose I'll always run it through a VCR. But then it's got UHF, so you know, I could probably, if I have an older set-top box with yeah, an older set-top box with UHF out, lower modulated UHF out, I could use it. Yeah, don't have to muck around with a VCR, just bloody tune it straight in. But yeah, I don't think that should be. Yeah, that's interesting. Huh? Didn't actually notice it. I actually did not notice that when you changed to UHF, the little light came up. I don't quite. Yeah, no, I'd say that's just. Ooh, no, I don't really want to turn that too much, in case something goes snap. But I did notice before with this though, you know how the grayscale was changing. Well, it was doing that again. Whether that is the, I've noticed there's some adjustment pots down there, which I actually didn't. I sprayed with the ox. I sprayed them with the ox, but I didn't actually clean them. I didn't want to upset the grayscale, because it's actually, to be honest, it's actually pretty good. It could do with a bit of a tweak, but it's a wee bit. It's a wee bit on the pink side. If you look at the tracking, it's a wee bit on the pink side, but actually it's not. It's not. Well, considering that it's probably never been touched or tweaked since 1973. Well, you know, you can't really tell it off, but actually it's actually pretty good. It's actually not too bad at all. I probably will adjust those. I'm assuming down there you've got your ones for. You've got your ones down. I think you've got for like probably you've got three for highlights and 3 for low light. Oh, yeah, there we go. It's just started doing it. It's just started. There we go. Started doing that again now. Yeah, look, there we go. It's changing all on its own. It's come right now. And there we go. All on its own. So whether that's those pots have still got dirt in them. Interesting. Interestingly, when you do that, it comes right. But then again, I suppose turning the brightness up, you're actually increasing the volts to the. Could it be the tube? I don't think so. But you're actually increasing the drive to the tube will probably increase. There's probably a bit more volts flying around the circuitry, so I guess there's obviously something funny there. I mean, I doubt it will be the tube. I mean, the tube looks too good to me to be crook. But yeah, it's probably those screen pots, I'd say. Yeah, so sort of doing things on its own, isn't it? See if you turn the look at it. It's quite hard case. Doing things on its own. Turn it up. Oh no! Look! No, it's actually changing. Even there, it's kind of changing on its own. You know what it could be? It's got the 2SC536 and 2SC945 transistors down on that in that area. Probably those things gone noisy. An actual good way to track down those transistors, these few ones that are noisy, is give them us a get a can of freeze and just spray each transistor individually. Don't spray them all at once. If you've got an amplifier with like noisy, one channel's noisy or crackly, it's coming from the preamp or the power amplifier, just go through and spray each transistor with freeze, wait a couple of minutes, and eventually you'll eventually whatever one's crook will definitely rear its ugly head. That's just a bit of useless information for you. Yeah, so I still jury's not out whether the EH2 regulation's any good. I don't know. It's probably quite normal for it. It's not blooming or really excessively like going out of focus ring. It's probably just whether it's just the age of the set. I don't know, but I'm not overly too worried about it. There is a B plus set pot there. If I touch it, it definitely makes the picture sort of. That's definitely probably your HT. Sorry, your B plus set, I'd say. Looking at that, but I should actually try and find some service data on the thing and just make sure that's correct. And again, one little brief press of volume to breach YouTube copyrights. Yeah, there's enough to give them something to put a thing on to give me a message, and then probably ban it in some countries. Stupid. Well, I guess there's not really much more to say about this. Yeah, that problem's curious. So that grayscale altering's interesting. What to do on that? Actually, I can see. I actually saw some. Now that's interesting. I actually saw some little speckles, almost like arcing or sort of EHT leakage across the picture. Then it started doing that. So obviously something's obviously playing up there. But hey, it's definitely working better than what it was. Oh well, I hope you enjoyed this look at a 1973 Sony KV-1310ES TV. I might look into investigating that sort of grayscale changing problem. I'll probably just give all those pots a tweak first and check make sure there's no dry joints or anything down there. But yeah, wonder what that is. Econo quick. Just notice that. Oh, it's not anything to do. This hasn't got a preheat bloomin' supply, has it? No. Econo quick. That sort of indicates, you know, a preheated filament from the mains, but I wouldn't have thought so. I can't see anything at all that even indicates that it's got a preheat filament, and I sort of can't see any extra transformer or anything sitting around, but you know, you never know. Could very well be. One way to do it was to turn it off for a couple of minutes and see if the picture comes straight back on. If it comes on right away, well then we know that it's definitely Yeah. Instant on, then we know that it's definitely a got a preheat picture tube, but I don't think so. Anything else I can actually show you while I'm actually sitting here killing time? Not really. Nah. No, I don't know what that Econo Quick business is about. Maybe it's the tube. Maybe the tube heats up. Maybe back in the day, maybe it was a quick heat filament. So who knows? Right, I think I'm done with this for now. Thanks for watching, and yeah, if I have any further success with it, I may do another video on it. But if not, this is pretty much where I'm going to leave it. And thanks for watching. Over and out. And as they say in Sony Trinitron land, good night.